Headline news most affecting Abbotsford this week. A Chilliwack man has been charged in a mission murder. Ambulance and paramedic frontliners may have a new contract. Smuggling drugs into Valley institutions literally takes on a different flight. And the SNOWBALL Basketball Classic is now underway at Abbotsford Secondary. Josh will have more in sports. Our special guest this week includes Bruce Renwick with the BC Scotties and the men's curling championships that are happening at the Chilliwack Curling Club. All right, Abbotsford, let's get started. A 27-year-old Chilliwack man has been arrested and charged in relation to a homicide that happened in Mission back in December. The victim identified as 64-year-old Holbert II, a resident, and it was in his home where the murder happened. I-HIT investigators have now charged 27-year-old Matthew Bohr of Chilliwack as the suspect and charged him with second-degree murder. The circumstances have not been revealed of how all of this came down. That will, of course, come out in the trial. There have been plenty of stories of how underpaid, understaffed, under-resourced paramedics are, so this is, well, a major step. The Health Employers Association of BC, along with the Ambulance Dispatchers Bargaining Association, have reached a tentative collective agreement. This under the government's BC Shared Recovery Mandate, and with the assistance of mediator Vince Reddy. You may recognize his name. He gets involved in things like this all the time. Tony Clifford, the president of the Ambulance Paramedics of BC, is calling this the best deal he has seen in at least 10 to 15 years. Now, both sides are looking over the details, and it should be finalized over the next week. There have been a recent rash of searches in Valley correctional institutions. Drugs and phones have been seized at both Mountain and Matsqui prisons. But this one incident, it's showing ingenuity. Recently at Pacific Institution in Abbotsford, a pigeon was found on the grounds with a backpack full of drugs. Prison officers have been on the lookout for drones carrying drugs and other contraband, but this is the first time that anybody has recalled that a live bird was used. Officials say it's a case of just an indication of how creative criminals are becoming when it comes to smuggling drugs. There is a long-standing love-hate relationship with the ALC, BC's Agricultural Land Commission rules. Many business owners have expressed their concerns over the years that the ALC simply does not understand agritourism. The 2022 Glow Langley event successfully brought the community together, but the dynamics of the event changed substantially. That's because of the new ALC rules that were provided to the team literally a couple of months before opening night, which happened to put the kibosh on having events in a very warm greenhouse during the December chill. Remember that? Glow President Daryl Dregan telling abbyTV he was disappointed they couldn't include plants such as poinsettias in their displays, and provided people with an appreciation for that effort and the scale that takes it to actually have locally grown products in market. See, the thing is, everything had to be outside. Poinsettias don't do well in the cold. Drigger telling News of the Week about the frustration with the ALC, the lost revenue, the complaints from businesses and patrons alike, and of course, similarities with the ALR rule, challenges that a lot of other businesses face. And that includes what seems to be an ongoing drama in Chilliwack with their fantasy farms. Gallery 7 Theatre presenting Murder on the Orient Express. It starts January the 27th, rolls until February the 4th at the Abbotsford Arts Centre. Agatha Christie's compelling murder mystery rolling onto the stage in a spectacular new theatre adaptation that'll keep you guessing whodunit. And this is the standard where all whodunits are based on. Gallery 7's social media has all the ticket information. Mission Fire and Rescue Service wants to hear from you. They want to know if there's anything in particular that you're curious to see and know about. The fire department that could feature those posts in stories this coming year on social media. So that includes, and I'm quoting from them, what are you curious about when it comes to your fire department? What could they do better? What are they doing too much of? And what are they not doing enough? And you can access that questionnaire on the Mission Fire Facebook page. It is the silver anniversary for the Pacific Agriculture Show at TradeX. The 25th edition is January 26th to the 28th, presented by Farm Credit Canada. And once again, Kubota is going to be picking up the parking tab. Coming up in sports with Josh, the annual SNOWBALL Basketball Classic is now on the hardwood.
How's it going, Abbotsford? Welcome back to sports. It's Josh here with you. Happy New Year. First time I've seen you in a while. I was away on a cruise for a couple weeks, then I got sick like everybody else, and now we're back. We're better, and we should jump into it because there's a lot of sports to cover today. Beginning with the 61st annual Snowball basketball tournament that's back on this week at Abbotsford Senior Secondary. 5 of the top 10 Quad A teams and the number 1 AAA team in BC will be in Abbotsford competing for the Snowball Championship. Local teams that are going to be featured: Abbey Senior, Robert Bateman, and Yale. So please check out this amazing tournament. I mean, 61 years, that's unbelievable. Another tournament that's happening this weekend is the 2023 BC Scotties, presented by Best Western, and the 2023 BC Men's Curling Championships, which are being held this week at Chilliwack Curling Club. The combined events will take many talented teams from across the province, bring them to Chilliwack, and give them a chance to represent BC at the 2023 Tim Hortons Brier in London, Ontario, if you're on the men's side, and the 2023 Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Kamloops, if you're on the women's side. Bruce Renwick, the manager of the Chilliwack Curling Club, spoke with our Don Lehn this afternoon as the tournament got started.
A huge tournament is in Chilliwack this week as News of the Week continues with Bruce Renwick, who is the manager, of the Chilliwack Curling Center. When the new center opened, we had this conversation of bringing in some major events. Well, here we are with the BC Men's and the BC Scotties, and it's real. How long did it take to put all of this together?
We've got a committee working for approximately close to a year, and through those committee heads, we had 12 committee heads, and we have 120 volunteers signed up to help out for this week.
And the volunteers, not just from Chilliwack, you have Abbotsford and throughout the valley as well, or?
We do. We have a number of officials from down the valley, and we also have some others helping us out from other clubs.
Okay, now rinks, I know you got to be careful with, you don't want to sound biased, but rinks that we should be keeping our eyes on because we got a ton of amazing people in town.
We do. The field this year is just absolutely outstanding. We've on the ladies' side, I would keep my eye on the Grandy team. They've been doing very well on the circuit. They played in the last Grand Slam on TV. Of course, there's always Corinne Brown out of Kamloops and Sarah Work, even from Chilliwack here. We've got it's amazing talent on both sides. On the men's side, I would watch for Team Gauthier. You can't count Brent Pierce out, who was last year's champion. I've been curling against Brent for many, many years. He's dropped 40 pounds. He is in amazing shape, and they've been doing very well on the circuit. And of course, we always have the perennial BC favorite, Jimmy Cotter, that's here. So any of the 12 men's teams or the 8 ladies teams could come out and represent our province at the Nationals.
Now, off the top of your head, when are the Nationals? That's not that far away.
No, off the top of my head, I'm sorry, but the Scotties, I believe, are about mid-February, and the Brier is in London, Ontario in March.
Having said that, and again, we had this conversation not that long ago. Obviously, Chilliwack is in the focus BC-wise, and we'll get to the television in just a moment as far as national rights go, but I would think this bodes well for us to make a pitch for nationals like the Scotties and like the Brier, but that would have to be in concert, I would assume, with the Chilliwack Coliseum in the city of Chilliwack?
That would be correct. We would need some support from both those venues, also from the province of BC. But having said that, the Scotties this year are up in Kamloops, so we should possibly look at some of these events. We had the Continental Cup here already in Chilliwack in 2006, so we're ready for nationals. We're ready for big events.
And some of the things, we've had the BC Juniors already, the Under-16 Challenge, the BC Seniors. We also have the Canada Winter Games qualifiers coming up.
For Curl BC, possibly, yes.
Yeah.
Not at our club, though.
Yeah, oh, I see. Okay, exactly. Now, having said that, I did run into one of the Curl BC officials the other day when I did a quick tour. They seem very impressed with what they are seeing, with what you guys have done to put in the new curling club. Are you getting that feeling that, okay, all this hard work has definitely paid off and still paying off?
It has, Don. I can't say enough about the whole process with the city of Chilliwack. They've definitely put us on the map, and now we want to put them on the curling map. And it's just been wonderful. We are now the premier club in BC for these events. Curl BC wants us to continue to hold events, and the city built that for this purpose, so that's our payback to the city by bringing in the economic spin-off on these events.
Now, ticket prices and availability, we just go to the curling club and get them?
You betcha. They're for sale at the door. We have sold out all of our window seats upstairs, but they're only held to the end of the second end, so they're wide open. Our sponsors have the opportunity to sit in them until till the end of the second end, but then they're wide open. And general admission, we've had a huge walk up today. $10 a day during the qualifying. So Thursday and Friday is $10, and the weekend is $15 to see the semis and the finals.
And the other upside too is that there's tons of parking.
There's tons of parking. Again, just a great process with the city. We can't thank them enough. Just ideal location, ideal facility. We have clubs from across Canada calling us and saying, "What are you guys doing? Why are you so successful?"
Aha, you made the impression. We knew it would work. Bruce, again, big thank you. You got a one heck of a busy week. Thanks again for joining us on News of the Week.
Thanks, Don. I really appreciate the coverage.
Anytime, and we'll see you back at the rink. And you're watching News of the Week.
Thanks a lot, Don, and thank you to Bruce for stopping by. Please check out these amazing tournaments out in Chilliwack at the Curling Club. Let's move on to UFV, where the Cascades women's volleyball team picked up their 5th consecutive victory over a nationally ranked opponent with a 3-set sweep of the Calgary Dinos on Saturday evening at the UFV Athletic Center. During the run, the Cascades have picked up a win over the Mount Royal Cougars, the Alberta Pandas, and now the Dinos. Now, on the other side, the men's team split their 2-game set with those same Calgary Dinos this past weekend, winning a 5-set contest on Friday night, but stumbling down the stretch in another close 5-setter on Saturday. Cascades now head to Edmonton to face the McEwen Griffins on Friday and Saturday. As a reminder, all Canada West matches can be streamed live on Canada West TV. Chilliwack Minor Lacrosse Association is partnering with Sumas First Nation as they host a series of lacrosse development sessions for self-identifying Indigenous youth. This event will be held for ages 6 to 16 and will be held in February. No experience is needed. And Jenna Noppen told us, quote, "These development sessions are hosted by the Sumas First Nation in partnership with the Chilliwack Mustangs and the Abbotsford Valley Junior Rebels team." End quote. The so-called Swedish Mafia line made some beautiful music for the Abbotsford Canucks on Saturday night as the combo of Linus Karlsson, Niels Höglander, and Niels Amund scored twice in a 2-1 win over the Henderson Silver Knights. And a large crowd of 6,023 took in the game at the Abbotsford Center. The club will now hit the road for games against the San Jose Barracuda on Saturday, January 14th and Sunday, January 15th, with the next home game occurring on January 18th when the Calgary Wranglers are in town for a little tussle. Because they're the Wranglers. Anyways, never mind. The Abbotsford Rugby Football Club are set to celebrate a half-century on the pitch with an anniversary celebration and awards night later this year. The event is set for May 13th at Straighton Community Hall. Organizers say that there will be a buffet dinner, a look back through the club's impressive history through photos and stories, and of course, time for attendees to reminisce. As soon as we have more information on tickets, we'll be sure to let you know. Please stay tuned for more on this event. All right, that's all we got for today, Abbotsford. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I'm Josh. That's been sports. Coming up, we've got Cari with the weather.
abbyTV weekend weather with the 7-day forecast. Cari, the mild weather continues to melt away any trace of the Christmas snow. Okay, it's raining, so at least we don't have to shovel this.
Thanks a lot, Don. Our weather this week is going to be, yes, rain, more rain. Highs of up to 10, which is amazing in the middle of winter, and down to 4, so we're not even going to be freezing. Slight chance that you might see the sun on Monday, but other than that, what do you expect, Don? It's winter.
Thanks, Cari. If you'd like to participate in reporting news in Chilliwack and you have a story you think we should know about, send us a note and your pictures and your video to news@chilltv.ca. We'd love to hear from you. That's the news this week. I'm Don Lehn.